John woke to the insistent chirping of his alarm clock. 6 o'clock a.m. Another day began. He went through his morning routine with the practiced ease of long habit. Shower, shave, breakfast, everything in its place, predictable, safe. John joined the throngs of commuters on their way to work, faces etched with fatigue, a sea of grey suits and briefcases. He was just another face in the crowd, lost in the anonymity of the city. Work was a blur of emails, meetings and deadlines. The hours crawled by. John stared at his computer screen, the blue light reflecting in his tired eyes. He felt a growing sense of unease. Something wasn't right. As he reached for his coffee, his hand passed right through the mug. It shattered on the floor, spraying hot liquid everywhere. But something was wrong, very wrong. The shards, they weren't real. They dissolved into lines of green code before his eyes. Panic seized John. He jerked back from the spectacle. His heart pounded in his chest. This couldn't be real. It had to be a dream, a nightmare. He squeezed his eyes shut, willing the world to return to normal. When he opened his eyes, nothing had changed. The code remained, a glaring anomaly in his otherwise mundane office. He cautiously reached out to touch it, his fingers passing through the glowing lines. A surge of electricity shot up his arm, sending a jolt of fear through his system. He looked around at his colleagues. They continued working, oblivious to the digital breakdown happening around them. Were they in on it? Or were they also trapped? Questions whirled in his mind, each more terrifying than the last. He had to get out. He had to escape this madness. But how? Where would he even go? This was his life, his reality, wasn't it? John stumbled out of his office, his mind reeling. The city streets, once so familiar, now seemed alien and menacing. The buildings towered above him, their surfaces shimmering with an unnatural glow. He ran until his lungs burned and his legs screamed for mercy. But the city stretched on, an endless labyrinth of concrete and glass. There was no escape. He was trapped. Exhausted, John collapsed onto a bench, his chest heaving. He looked up at the sky, desperately searching for a sign, an answer. But the sky was blank, a vast empty canvas. Even the clouds were gone. He had to find someone who could explain what was happening. Someone who could help him make sense of this digital nightmare he was living in. Days turned into nights. John wandered the city, a ghost haunting his own life. He was a man untethered from reality, lost in a sea of code. The line between what was real and what was simulation had become blurred beyond recognition. He began to see glitches everywhere, a flickering streetlight, a distorted reflection in a shop window. The world was unraveling, thread by thread, and he was falling deeper into the abyss. One evening, as he sat slumped against a wall, a voice broke through his despair. A soft, melodic voice, unlike anything he had ever heard before. "You're awake," it whispered. "I knew you would be." John looked up, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and hope. Could this be the answer he had been searching for? Could this be the way out?